exaggerate a memory or two, where summers lasted longer than we do.
I think they were a huge influence because they were the first band that I'd found to just really explore everything they wanted to creatively, and they just had so many different kinds of songs, and that was really intriguing. You know, it kind of let us think that we would be able to just explore anything we wanted to do.
But in time we all forgot and we all grew.
I'd probably eat Spencer, just because he's the youngest, so his meat is still the most tender.
Melody sounds as sweet as the first time it was sung, with a little bit more character.
I mean, it's never easy for a band to start. You don't have any money, and you know, you're driving around in a van around the country, and I think maybe you just have to want to be doing it regardless of, you know, fame and fortune or something like that. When we were just touring in a van for 9 months and, you know, just setting up our own gear or whatever, driving after every show, just kind of, I don't know, makes you wonder if you really want to do it, I guess. And we were still having fun doing it, so I'd say, you know, just putting up with all that is not easy.
And by the time your father's heard of all the wrong
I didn't really have a steady job. I worked from job to job. I made coffee, and I was a waiter. I sold computers. I didn't really do much besides that.
I had a few jobs. My last job before the band got signed was working at an animal clinic, sort of being a kennel attendant, cleaning up dirty dog cages and cats that scratch your eyes out and stuff like that. It was tough.
putting out the lantern, find your own way back home.
Nine in the afternoon was just something that Spencer said one night, and didn't mean anything. It's just a silly kind of phrase that we all liked, and so it ended up being in the song.
We didn't know what time it was, and someone said it felt like it was 9 in the afternoon. We all laughed for a minute, and then decided that it would be good to put in the song.
Hey, I'm Brendon from Panic at the Disco, and I have some questions that need to be answered, I guess. So, here we go. What are you most looking forward to about the Music Fest in Japan? Asks Cannon from San Francisco. Well, Cannon, there's a lot I'm looking forward to about Japan. But the music festival we are playing is Summer Sonic, and I've heard it's a lot of fun. You know, we've played there once before, and it was insane. Really, really crazy. So, only good things. I expect really great things. So I'm just gonna read it how it says it on Thing, because it's up. But it's funny. Where do you guys are most likely to get inspirations for lyrics and melodies? Yeah, you know, on this record I'm pretty odd for lyrics, and well, mostly for lyrics. We just you know, wrote about what we knew about being in a band. A lot of them are just really honest lyrics. Some are made up stories, fantastical, maybe about the weather. But we were spending a lot of time writing outside. So, and with melodies, you know, there's a lot of bands we listen to for melody influence, you know, that we admire. You know, a lot of bands steal stuff, but we just like to listen to it and come up with some other different stuff. So that's, hopefully that answers your question. After the touring for the second album, what are you guys planning to do afterwards? Well, Sam, from San Bernardino, we plan on touring some more, because that's what we do. That's what we love to do. After this tour, we are going to Europe and all over the world, and then coming right back to the States to do it all over again. What was your absolute worst high school memory? Mary Beth from Dallas, Texas. All right. Well, Mary Beth. I had a lot of bad high school memories. It was not a good time for me. Some of the time it was, for sure. But overall, pretty bad. And actually, yeah, this one time, this guy named Danny, he was kind of a bully. We were all in PE, and he gave me a concussion during tag football. So there you go. Hopefully that didn't bring you down. But don't worry, I'm okay. So it's all good. Karma, Danny. Here we go. Last question. Because I feel you guys aren't asked enough random questions, honestly, I'd like to know what superpower any of you would want and why. Sam from Charlotte, North Carolina. North Carolina! Well, let's see. Superpower. Invisibility. And not for the reason that most people think, so that they can't be seen. Your clothes can still be seen if you're invisible. I would just want to be naked all the time, but since that's not deemed, appropriate by society, it can't happen. So, invisibility for sure. What city did you have the most fun in on tour? Asks Sarah.
I have the answer.
Okay.
That is a trick question because, the point of us being on tour is bringing the fun into each city that we go into.
You just said
No, I didn't.
You did. You said each
City.
going to.
Each city. Each city.
If you weren't famous, what do you think you would be doing now?
Trying to get famous. Somehow.
I would do anything to be a star. Anything.
If you're watching this, I'll do anything to be on TV. Anything.
You're on it. Well, what are you guys doing after the Civic Tour? Ryan, what are you doing after the Civic Tour?
I think this is his way of saying he's going to rest.
If Panic at the Disco could create or combine a new musical instrument, what would the instrument consist of and sound like?
Wow.
Well, it sounded like a Zorf and it looked like a dingle hoop.
Correct.
Zorfs and dingle hoops. You heard it first. Sean Walker. Ryan.
Yes, Brendon?
Ryan, I like your dog Hobo, but why did you name him Hobo? Him.
Well, it's
Hobo.
a girl. Hobo's a girl, and she just lives like a hobo. She
tramp.
sometimes doesn't get fed or she smells bad, and, she's just along for the ride. So she's kind of a hobo.
We have a question. Courtney from Madison, Wisconsin says, what do you guys like to do on your free time?
Oh, well, what do we do?
Well, I don't know if anybody's heard of a little thing Nintendo just came out with called Mario Kart Extreme Racing Challenge.
I don't know, maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you haven't if you live under a rock or something like a rock. Mario Kart, push-ups.
Mario Kart, push-ups. We've been doing lots of push-ups. What about you, Brendon? What do you like to do in your spare time?
I wish I had some spare time.
That's weird. That we all have spare time, but you don't.
I don't know.
Work out.
Get toned.
Beyond working out and playing Mario Kart, there's not a whole lot of time left.
Becky from West Virginia asks, what is your favorite meal, collectively as a band?
Ooh.
Here's a question we can really get.
Get into.
I don't think we'd ever agree on one thing, but
We
that Thai
haven't.
food we had the other night
That was
so
good, but
Mhm.
I guess we can just say what we ordered for dinner tonight. We
What did we
ordered
order?
P.F.
Tell
Chang's.
'em what we ordered.
We got crispy honey chicken.
One thing.
Yeah.
We got Singapore noodles,
Singapore noodles. Street
Mhm.
noodles.
street noodles, lettuce wraps,
Lo mein.
lo mein.
Kung Pao chicken.
I guess the thing with our favorite meal is it just has to be a little bit of everything. We like to have a minimum of 10 to 15 items to choose from.
At our disposal
Yeah.
to just, tear through as we want.
Brittany F. from Ozark, Montana asks, what is it like riding in a tour bus for several months at a time? What is it like?
It's fun.
It's fun.
It is really
You know,
fun,
it's a
yeah.
lot of traveling. Obviously, you're on the bus. You know.
Yeah, you know, but the bus isn't bad. Obviously, it's you know, way more accommodating than a van, which is where we kind of started out. So, you know,
The bus is a good home away from home.
You either sleep good or you don't in that thing. You know what I mean? I do, so I'm good.
So we're good.
yeah.
Lori A. from Los Banos, California asks, what's the worst dream you ever had? I've had a couple doozies.
Yeah, me too.
I actually, I have a reoccurring dream since I was 6 years old. It's Kurt Russell from the movie Big Trouble in Little China, and he's grabbing a rhino's horn, and they're like wrestling, and they're like charging into each other. I don't know what it means, but
Sounds frightening though.
it's pretty frightening.
Sounds
Pretty.
frightening.
It still scares the living bejesus out of me. I think I'm saying this right. Ariane N. from Huntington Beach, California asks, what's the best advice someone has ever given you?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Thanks, Peter
That's
Gabriel.
how he's the one who told me that.
Yeah,
That's
I
how he
said it
said
just like
when he
that
said it.
too. Yeah.
Tiffany B. from Shillington, Pennsylvania asks, what's your favorite song to perform live and why?
Just
My favorite one to play is Mad as Rabbits because I get to play bass. Catherine M. from Las Cruces, New Mexico asks, what is the most embarrassing onstage moment that you have ever experienced? Man, there have been
Scott,
a
was
lot.
that embarrassing for you? Or
No,
that good?
that was flattering, if anything.
That should be flattering. It should be flattering.
I think, I don't know. We've all had our share of embarrassing moments on stage. I forget lyrics all the time, so that's bad on my part. Well, not all the time, but once in a while in a blue moon it happens. But I don't know. I was stripped naked on one of the first tours we ever did. Well, not completely, but just down to my underwear, and that was pretty embarrassing.